What's that? What happened with that?
On King News, that I've come to you with the truth. Looking streets took 6 more lives overnight, all the result of gangbang stupidity. By the way, you gangsters should know, what do you think of a 3-year-old girl? Over gang members, you still don't get it, do you?
Oh, man. I just thought I'd start that out because it was absolutely shots fired. It was absolutely shots fired. We ain't gonna be in here a long, long time. I just wanted to say my piece, and maybe there's not gonna be any piece to it, on the situation dealing with Corey Holcomb and Anton Daniels. I really didn't have any bad feelings about it other than I wish they could have utilized the conversation to explain Anton's conservative views a little bit better. It seemed like Corey was trying to get to a conversation that Anton really wasn't trying to have. And I get that. Just based on who Anton Daniels is. I've listened to him for years. Never really listened to him with the whole red pill, blue pill stuff going on. But I've listened to his political stuff and I understand his views. I understand him being a staunch, Christian, I mean, he's who he is. And there's a lot of people like that out here. I get that. I don't have any problem with him until he crosses the lines and tries to paint black people all the same. He tries to paint blackness all the same. And that's where my disagreements with him come in. And I've learned that people like that, they do things for a couple reasons, Some people do it because that's what they truly believe. And then some people do it to be contrarians to what the real narrative is. And some people do it for money. And I absolutely believe that Anton Daniels does things more for money than anything else. I mean, that's his mantra, bag chaser. He's a bag chaser. He likes, talking about getting the bag, having the bag and being with the bag and all that. And, there's nothing wrong with that because I guess the world needs those kind of people as well. At 55, almost 56, I've been in those positions where, the bag was the most important thing to me. And getting the bag was the most important thing to me. What happened there? I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on. So, let me just get this going. Let me put it in drive. Oh, lady, I can't go that way. She going about 1.8 miles per hour. I mean, she is walking, and I ain't gonna rush her. Coming out of the grocery store, it's always a little hairy after it snows because the parking spaces are all jacked up. So I parked in a parking space where I thought I was gonna get away from somebody, and then here comes somebody else wedging themselves up in between me and the cart corral. And I was like, are you gonna be able to get out, dog? Because I'm not moving. And he was able to get out. He was skinny as fuck. But yeah, let me get my fat dip in, I can't do a skinny dip, ain't shit skinny about me. So I'm gonna get a fat dip in and we're gonna get in and out about this Anton Daniels thing because my take on it is probably a little bit different than what you've seen other reaction videos be. This is really not a reaction solely just on their conversation. I knew that Anton did what he did for his platform. He didn't go into Corey's 5150 show looking to expand Corey's show, looking to expand Corey's audience's, ideology of him. He went into it for himself. And I know a lot of people think, well, maybe the conversation just got derailed, this, that, and the other. No, it didn't. Because I've always believed in listening to both sides. I'm always going to listen to both sides. And the reason that I listen to both sides, because if you just listen to one side, you've only got one side of the story. If you listen to both sides, at least you have both sides of the story. Now, both sides may be wrong. And in some cases, both sides were wrong dealing with Corey and Anton. But I knew for a fact that Anton went in there to broaden his horizons, to strengthen his platform. He's got a bunch of followers. I get that. 1 million followers, this, that, and the other. But Corey Holcomb is a nationally known, maybe internationally known comedian. And his platform is a little bit different than Antoine's, or it's a lot different than Anton's. And Anton can only get bigger going on Corey Holcomb's platform. Corey Holcomb couldn't get any bigger going on Anton Daniels' platform. And everybody knows that knows anything. So what Anton did was he took the shot. I mean, he's literally out in California and he's trying to go out and get on the other big podcasts. He talked about it during that conversation. He's going to get on the No Jumper podcast and he's going to get on this. Maybe he'll talk to Tariq Nasheed and different people like that. You know, I'm right here in Michigan and he probably will never talk to me because he doesn't look at me as somebody that he needs to talk to. But I'd be a great motherfucker for Anton to talk to because there's a lot of things that he believes in that I believe in. Then there's a lot of bullshit that he says that I definitely will rebuke. But anyway, let's stay with what I'm staying with. So the reason I wanted to do this video, because it has nothing to do. I'm not going to replay them arguing. I'm not going to replay them fussing and fighting. When I edit my video down, I'm not going to put in them fighting, them face to face and mic to mic and toe to toe. Fuck all that. That's crazy shit. The reason that I'm doing this is just to prove to people, because somebody even asked, I said yesterday that Anton was spineless when what he did. He should have just told him, like, I'm coming out and I'm with the shits. So whatever happens, happens. But he came out making it seem like he was ready to have a discussion. But he doesn't respect Corey Holcomb. And he said that he didn't respect Corey Holcomb. He said Corey Holcomb wasn't on his intellectual level and all that. And I don't even care about any of that at this point. Because this is not about, we're not taking IQ test here. This is not about Corey Holcomb's intelligence. It's not about Anton Daniels' intelligence. It's to prove my point, what I said that Anton was spineless, because he really should have basically said, I'm coming out to LA and this is what I'm going to be on. Anybody want to have me on their show, y'all know what the fuck to do. That's what he should have did. But he came out all congenial like he was going to be a model guest, and then he flipped the script on Corey, and you can't flip the script on Corey. You know, the shit that he said to Corey was out of pocket. I didn't think so much that the shit that Corey said was out of pocket to him. I thought it could have been phrased a little bit differently, but the way it was phrased, Anton thought he would throw it back in Corey's lap, and that's not really what happened. Because Corey said, you know, you kiss the ass of white man. Anton said you suck the dick of black people, and that's just totally out of pocket. Kissing the ass and sucking dick is a totally different thing. You know, maybe not for some of y'all, but, you know, for me, yeah, it is. Anyway, I want to go to a clip that I took from Anton's video, his reaction video, his own reaction video, just to explain why he did what he did and why I say stands. I said he was spineless. I hadn't even listened to his reaction, but I knew what he did was for Anton, not Corey and Anton, not Anton and Corey. It was for Anton. So let me get this up as I roll. I can't read what you're typing, Pud. I'll read it when I slow down. But listen to this. This is why I believe Anton is spineless.
You said it look bad all around. No, it don't. No, it don't. It look bad for niggas. It look great for me. Nigga, I listen. There is no way, in every shape and form, this could not have went better for me. This was my greatest victory to date.
You hear that?
In every shape, everything that you can think about. Visibility, pulling up to y'all city, monetization, getting trending on Twitter. And every single metric, I won. I win all across the board. And I know that make niggas upset, because y'all be waiting on a nigga to say something to me. Oh man, he would never say that to somebody. I said it. And I stood 10 toes down on it.
So his whole goal was to get underneath Corey's skin. His whole goal. His goal was not to go have a conversation with Corey, with Darlene, with Craig. It wasn't to do any of that. His whole goal was to get under Corey's skin, to blow the spot up, and to blow his shit up. Because Anton's got at least 6 months to a year worth of content off of this shit coming. He's going to make at least 6 months to a year of content off of this shit right here. This shit ain't going to really help Corey none. I don't think it's going to hurt him either. Corey goes back out on stage, I'm sure, tonight and tomorrow. He does comedy, so he's going to be doing his fucking thing. I don't think it's going to hurt Corey one bit monetarily. I don't believe it's going to hurt Corey's brand. But the crazy thing was, for me, nobody was seeing what the fuck was going on. If you go back and look at the actual 5150 video, you can see Anton sitting there like smiling, like he's basically waiting for his cue so he can say his shit. And once he gets his shit off, he's good. Because he knows that that shit is forever. The internet is forever. You can delete all you want, but Anton recording back at his spot, and he in California, he recording back in Detroit. So he's got the footage, and he's going to replay the footage, redo the footage, he's going to manipulate the footage, and that's what the shit is all about. But he should have came out there on that shit. Don't come out there acting like you about to have a conversation and talk about your shit, and he going to talk about his shit, and y'all going to talk about y'all shit. Just say you going to do what you going to do, and let it be what it is. He did what he did to get the content, to get the likes, to get the views, to get the subscriptions, to get the followers, to have people buy his products and all that shit. I get it. I totally get it. I just wish that it would have been known that they was just going to be, no holds barred from the beginning. Most people thought they was going to have a real conversation. That's not what Anton planned. No way, no how. Anton didn't plan for no fucking real conversation, okay? Now, if you did watch the 5150 video, one of the things that they talked about, and Corey talked about, was they talked about being from the hood. They both talked about being from the hood. Now, Antoine's from like 8 Mile, Green Lawn. If you from Detroit area, Ann Arbor, I'm Ann Arbor, and I know where the fuck 8 Mile and Green Lawn is. So he's from that 8 Mile Green Lawn area, okay? So I guess, you would consider that the hood. He would consider that the hood, basically back in the day. It was single family dwellings, working class people. It's probably gotten bad, worse, and better over the years. None of that matters to me. All right? But Anton said some shit that really exposed who he really fucking was, because he does come off as this highfalutin Negro. And he's really not even a Negro. From what I know, I guess he's he's a Nigerian or Jamaican or something. I don't know what he is. They call him a tether. I don't know exactly what he is. I guess his parents maybe grew up here, but then everybody else is back from them other countries, wherever they're from. He's not, he's not a descendant of American chattel slaves. So, they call him a tether. So he is a tether. If he's a tether, he's a tether. I don't give a fuck. What I care the most about is when you say something, you better be able to stand on the shit. And one of the things that Anton said during that conversation was that he didn't know nobody to go to jail. He ain't never hung around nobody that goes to jail, that went to jail, which made it crazy to me, because you say you're from the hood. Now, if you're from the hood, there ain't no way you grew up in the hood and don't know nobody who went to jail. I grew up in subsidized housing, albeit Ann Arbor. And I know plenty of motherfuckers that went to jail from Colonial Square. I know plenty of motherfuckers that went to jail from the southeast side of town. Brayburn Circle, Stony Brook, Forest Hills, High Cone. I know plenty of motherfuckers that went to jail. And I wouldn't consider myself growing up in the hood. Now, how the fuck you grew up in Detroit, and you say you grew up in the hood, Anton, but you didn't know nobody that went to jail? You know nobody? Nobody? You know nobody that went to jail? I would be shocked or surprised if the beef wasn't scripted. I'm not either. But I'm not even going to go that way. I'm going to let these two men stand on what they stood on. If they were scripted, then yeah, they both did it for the views. They did it to go viral. They did it for some monetization. But we know Anton did it for monetization because he said so. He was like, this shit is going to make me money. This whole beef right here is going to make me money. That's why he did it. And I get why he did it. I understand why he did it. That's what he does. So understanding when he kept saying, you know, yeah, I don't know no niggas that went to jail. I hung around a better class of people, basically is what he was saying. And I was listening and I was like, this motherfucker grew up in 8 Mile and Green Lawn. Ain't no motherfucking way that everybody made it out of that neighborhood without going to jail. Or in his era, nobody went to jail. Nobody got in trouble. You saying that you was in a model situation where nobody got in trouble. I was like, okay, I got it. I got it. See, I love when niggas do shit like this. I lay for shit like this. I lay for shit like this. And I know Anton or Corey ain't gonna see this motherfucking video. So it don't even matter to me. I'm not doing it to troll Anton. I'm not doing it to troll Corey. I know neither one of them niggas gonna watch this video. Not even concerned with them watching this video. I'm doing this to get this shit off my chest. Okay? I'm doing it to get it off my chest. And once I back into this space, I want to answer a couple of these comments that y'all got, if they're questions, or just read them. Give me 1 sec. What up, Pud? In my opinion, Anton was wrong as 3 left shoes. Those things he said could cause someone to end up in a bad position. Absolutely. When Anton said he was from Detroit, I know he don't want no static. What I got from the whole engagement was a damn shame. 2 men can't sit down and talk. Facts. 2 totally different things agreed. Good morning, Chef Shan. Yes, sir. We gonna get to cooking in just a second. Look, I just turned the stove on. I just turned the stove on. Watch what happens. Watch what happens when I put this in the pot. Shannon, let's promote and get paid doing Anton and Corey. Hell yeah, let's do it. Celebrity boxing match. We can use the Chicago-Detroit angle. Popular YouTube influencers box out their differences. $39.99. Boy, don't you lowball me. Don't you lowball me. $39.99 for pay-per-view. We got to do at least $79.99. They paying $99.99 to see Jake Paul fight. We gotta do at least $79.99 to see 2 moderately out of shape individuals box. Cause they both probably can go around or 2, but ain't neither one of them in perfect shape. We know that. We can see them. What up, Brother Bridges? I would not be shocked. Okay, so I saw your comment. So let me explain to you. When you say you grew up in the hood, Bridges, you know anybody that went to jail when you grew up? Taylor, you know anybody that went to jail when you grew up? I know where y'all grew up. Do you know anybody that went to jail when you grew up? I'm going to let somebody answer that question while I find what Antoine was on, because he was on some bullshit. Hold on a second. Okay. Either one of y'all know anybody that went to jail when you grew up? Cause, okay, Putty, you can't use yourself. You can't use yourself, Pud. God damn it. How about anybody else? All right. This is where Anton and his story on the 5150 show, for anybody that didn't see the show, none of this is going to make sense. But this is coming out of Anton's mouth himself. Told you I've been listening to Anton for years. I've been listening to him for years. So, when you listen to somebody, you gather content if you want to talk about him. I've never had a reason to want to talk about Anton. Actually contemplated on working with him. You know, or at least trying to work with him on some shit. But he didn't call me back, and it's all good. Yeah, a lot of people went to jail, I know. I'm trying to be... I got you. Here is Anton himself about 4 or 5 years ago. Anton said he didn't know nobody that went to jail on Corey's show. Here's Anton talking.
My neighborhood and the culture surrounding me had started to really influence me. And I talked about it in other videos, but ultimately what it came down to was that my parents recognized that I had a lot of potential and it was being untapped, underutilized. And part of it was just the culture by which I was being subjected to when I wasn't at the house or not at church and stuff like that. So they sent me to take some tests. that evaluated my intelligence, and I scored really high. And so they decided to make the sacrifice and send me to private school. You know?
Y'all heard that. He was a smart motherfucker. And ain't nothing wrong with being a smart motherfucker. I was a smart motherfucker. I took, aptitude tests and shit. They knew I fucking was smart. My mother said he's going to be a freak. You're not going to double promote him. She wouldn't even let me be single promoted. I could have been 10 years old in the 6th grade going into junior high school. But my mother said no. I get what he's talking about here. I am totally in pocket with what Anton is talking about here. I have no problem with what Anton is talking about here. And salute his parents for seeing his untapped potential and saying, hey, let's get this boy tested and we'll send him to a better environment. They didn't double promote him. They didn't single promote him, but they sent him to a better environment. They sent him to a private school. I'm going to go back 15 seconds and then we're going to let it go forward. And then you're going to see where Anton fucked up 5150 times, goddammit. He fucked up 5150 times.
I wasn't at the house or not at church and stuff like that. So they sent me to take some tests that evaluated my intelligence, and I scored really high. And so they decided to make the sacrifice and send me to private school. You know how when you're really young and you're kind of planning out where you want to go based off of where all your friends are going to go. All my friends were going to middle schools called Halley, and they were going to Hampton Middle School. My parents pulled me out of school. I was devastated because not only was I going to private school, I was going to an all-boys school. And that, in my mind, sucked because I was going girl crazy. I was getting into gangs. I was really going down the wrong path. Let's just put it like that. As a result, my parents made this up. I was going to an all-boys school. And that, in my mind, sucked because I was going girl crazy. I was getting into gangs. I was really going down the wrong path. Let's just put it like that. As a result, my parents made this up. I was going to an all-boys school. And that, in my mind, sucked because I was going girl crazy. I was getting into gangs. I was really going down the wrong path. Let's just put it like that. As a result, my parents made the sacrifice. I was going to an all-boys school. And that, in my mind, sucked because I was going girl crazy. I was getting into gangs. I was really going down the wrong path. Let's just put it like that. As a result, my parents made the sacrifice, decided to send me to private school.
So Anton went to private school, and there ain't shit wrong with going to private school. Okay, if you can afford to send your kid to private school, send his ass to private school. Send her ass to private school. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with seeing your child's potential and wanting better for them. Nothing wrong with that at all. What up, Free? But Anton, and right here, this is Anton's voice, goddammit. Anton said he was getting into gangs. When he was young, he was getting into gang activity in Detroit. To the east, my brother, to the east. He was getting into gangs. Gangs. Do y'all know anybody that ever got into gangs and didn't know nobody that went to jail? I'm not saying that Anton went to jail. I'm not saying that Anton ever got arrested. Maybe he got pulled out to mix before he would have got arrested. But if you getting into gangs, if you were part of a gang, if you running with a gang, if you just running along the side of a gang, you gonna know somebody that goes to jail. When Anton was on Corey's show, he said he didn't know nobody that went to jail because he didn't fuck with nobody that went to jail. If anybody saw the show, did you see him say that? Pud, did you watch the actual show? Bridges, did you watch the actual show? Did you see when Anton said he didn't know nobody that went to jail? I'll let y'all get y'all salutations out. Y'all greeting each other. Y'all having a family reunion in my chat and shit. So I'll let y'all get all that out. Did you listen to when he said, I don't know nobody that went to jail? How do you not know nobody that went to jail and you yourself was a gang member at one time? Maybe your career was short-lived. Maybe you was only in them streets 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, months. I don't think years. But he said he was in the gangs. He said he was getting into gangs. Was he like Michael was on Good Time and shit? Was he like Michael? And when Michael was with the Junior Warlords and shit? You know? Michael was in a gang on Good Times. Was Anton like Michael on Good Times? Because Michael could actually fight. Remember? Michael dotted a couple people up and shit. Remember he dotted the little fat boy up who got a better grade than him on the report card? Dotted his ass up. That was some funny shit. But I just want to go back a little bit.
You want to go based off of where all your friends are going to go. All my friends were going to middle schools called Hallie, and they were going to Hampton Middle School. My parents pulled me out of school. I was devastated because not only was I going to private school, I was going to an all-boys school. And that, in my mind, sucked because I was going girl crazy. I was getting into gangs. I was really...
When he said I was getting into gangs, when you getting into gangs, and maybe you have to get initiated, you know, I've seen the whole jump in thing, or they wanted to do you a dare, some gang activity, they want you to steal something from a store, or they want you to break into a car, or they jump you in, or whatever. So if you in a gang, you absolutely have to come across a motherfucker that got arrested, or that went to jail, or maybe his older brother was an older gang member and he went to jail. You didn't know nobody that went to jail, Anton. How you not know nobody that went to jail? Nobody. How you not know? How? You was in Detroit. You was at 8 Mile and Greenlawn. You was in the hood, as you say. I grew up in the hood. I don't know anybody that grew up in the hood that didn't know nobody that went to the jail. Are we serious? He said it himself. He was in the gangs. A lot of people probably don't know about this shit. A lot of people probably never heard this come out of Anton's mouth. And a lot of people probably won't know because a lot of people ain't going to watch this video. So it don't really matter. But the main reason I wanted to do this was to disclose two things. I don't dislike Anton. I just don't like what he stands for. I don't dislike Corey. Sometimes some of the shit he says, I don't like what he stands for. But Anton weaponizes Christianity. He weaponizes, being rich. He's not wealthy, he's rich. His parents weren't wealthy. And his parents weren't rich. So, he's not wealthy. He got money now. He didn't have money back in the day. He got money now. With that being said, he likes to talk down on motherfuckers. He likes to talk. He'd probably say something about me if he saw this video. Doing videos in his car, dusty ass nigga. You don't want to dance on this platform, Antoine. You really don't. And I'm not talking about platform of podcasting, the platform of life. Nigga, I was doing it when you was shitting in your diapers. I was doing it when you was in gangs. We on the other side of life now. When you was a gang member, Antoine, I was doing it. So we don't want to talk about that, okay? I wonder what his gang name was. See, his name is Anton, so I wonder what they call him. Did they call him like Ant Boogie? Was his name Ant Boogie? Ant Daddy? Black Ant? I wonder what his name was. I don't know. Don't even matter to me. But either way, what up, Sister Shanna? Shanna out there on the West Coast. God damn, Shanna. It's 6:30. What your ass doing up at 6:30? Jesus. That's when I wake up, Shanna. I wake up at 6:30. You up on the live at 6:30. That's love right there. That's that Aquarian love. Can't nobody fuck with Aquarians. So, the last thing that I want to play to let you know where I jumped on the other side of the street from Anton. I've never agreed with everything that Anton says, but this is where I jumped on the other side of the street from Anton and how we can never, ever be on the same side of the street again. It ain't got nothing to do with Corey Holcomb. It ain't got nothing to do with 5150. It It ain't got nothing to do with Anton telling Corey Holcomb that he sucks the dick of black people. It ain't even got nothing to do with Anton kissing the ass of white people. But what it does have to do with is his hate for American freedmen, for his disdain for American freedmen, for his all-out contrarian behavior to American freedmen. See, Anton likes black people, but he don't really like American freedmen. You understand me? If he liked American freedmen, he'd have never said this. If he respected American freedmen, he'd have never said this. And this is why I can never fuck with Anton wholeheartedly ever. We can have a conversation. We can see eye to eye. Anton's 5'9", I'm 5'9 3/4. We can have an eye-to-eye conversation. He's right here, right? I used to think Anton was tall and shit. I used to think Anton was tall until I found out that motherfucker 5'9". He looks so, the way he puts the camera angle on his podcast, it make him look like he tall and shit. It make him look like he tall. That's how I got Ray, y'all. I took a picture and Ray thought I was tall when she first saw my picture. She thought I was tall and then I got her. And then when I showed up, she was like, this Gary Coleman ass motherfucker. But that's okay. That's okay, because it ain't got nothing to do with the vertical. Sometimes it's got something to do with the length, but it ain't got nothing to do with the vertical. Let me get out of here before I say something wrong and get blocked on Facebook. So, here we go. This is why I will never, ever respect Anton Daniels as a black man. We can have a conversation, but he's got to atone for this right here. What you say, FYI, my previous comment, I was quoting AD. I wasn't involved in gang activities. Oh, I didn't even see it. What's up, Black Coffee? I didn't even see that last comment. Oh, I was involved in gang activity, but didn't know anybody that went to jail. Yep. I need... Okay. But this is why, and then once I get this out, then I'm going to go on and get up out of here. Let's see. Here we go. This is why me and Anton can't rock together. This is why. This is why.
I have no sympathy for anybody. You get what you deserve. Wherever it is that you are in life, that's your bed, sleep in it. I don't care where you were born. I don't care where you come from. I see immigrants coming over here every day from third world countries, outworking you, outpacing you, and making you look bad. I don't care about your reparations. Listen, I don't care if you ever get it. As a matter of fact, I'm advocating against it because it's going to help my dollar and make inflation go out of control. So I don't want them to pay you. I don't want you to have nothing. Don't give these mother nothing. As a matter of fact, not only do I not want you to get nothing from reparations, I think that they should tax you for breathing.
Anton Daniels thinks that American freedmen, I know some of y'all say FBA, I know some of y'all say ADOS, I know some of y'all say a lot of shit, but anybody that is a descendant of enslaved individuals, he thinks they should be taxed for breathing. He thinks they should be taxed for breathing? God damn, nigga. How much you charging for oxygen out here? He didn't say anybody but American freedmen. He didn't say Latinos. He didn't say Asians. He didn't say Arabs. He didn't say Hindus. He didn't say Native Americans. He didn't say white Americans. People from the diaspora. He said the descendants of enslaved individuals need to be taxed for breathing. Yeah, he had a red pill show, Shanna. He had a red pill show. I tried listening, but I couldn't really rock with him then. I didn't get to fucking with Anton until he started talking the political shit. Yeah, he was nasty towards sisters. He was nasty towards sisters. I get a bad name for talking about black women, but I've had to make my clarification. I don't talk about black women. I talk about trifling ass hookers. Now, you might start out as a black woman, but once you become a trifling ass hooker, you just a trifling ass hooker. Just because you got melanin in your skin does not mean I need to respect you. If you are fucked up in the game, I'm going to talk about your trifling ass, hooking ass. It is what it is. Or isn't. Or isn't. But let's go back and listen to him. This is where I fell off with Anton. Ant Dog. Ant Daddy. Black Ant. Whatever his gang name was.
I have no sympathy for anybody. You get what you deserve. Wherever it is that you are in life, that's your bed, sleep in it. I don't care where you were born. I don't care where you come from. I see immigrants coming over here every day from third world countries, outworking you, outpacing you, and making you look bad. I don't.
You see how he was able to disassociate himself from black people? From black Americans, from American blacks? Because he's not one. This lets you know right there, he's not one. He's not us. As a black man, as an American freedman man, I could never say that about my fellow man or sister. I could never do that. He says, I see immigrants coming over here, outdoing you, outworking you, outpacing you every day. No American freedman's going to say that. But somebody from the diaspora will say that. Somebody who is not rooted in this country as a descendant of enslaved people will say that. And once he said that, our allegiance broke. As much as I'll talk about a motherfucker who is a descendant, I will never, ever tell them I don't give a fuck about them. And I will never, ever forsake them for somebody that's not from this territory. But this is me. I'm just an old nigga that knows a lot of shit and talks a lot of shit because I've done a lot of shit. It's just me. This ain't about Anton. This ain't about Corey. You got to have a fucking code. And the code is to stay on the motherfucker.
Care about reparations. Listen, I don't care if you ever get it. As a matter of fact, I'm advocating against it because
he will politicize against reparations. Now, mind you, most of Anton's black people that he fucks with, they are American freedmen. They're not from the diaspora. They are black Americans. They are American blacks. They are American freedmen. They are FBA. They are ADOS. And they still rock with him talking like this. So what type of small-minded monkeys are they? Look, as oxtail. Ant to oxtail. Oxtail ant. Oxtail ant. Ant jerk. I couldn't believe this shit.
$1 and make inflation go out of control, so I don't want them to pay you. I don't want you to have nothing. Don't give these mother nothing. As a matter of fact, not only do I not want you to get nothing from reparations, I think that they should tax you for breathing.
I don't get his disdain for American black people, seeing that he has elevated himself on the backs of American black. Shannon, what is he? Is he Jamaican or is he Nigerian? Because I heard he was both. I heard he was Nigerian. I heard he was Jamaican. So I want to be clear, and I know you got the skinny on the fat dip. This is a fat dip of Corey and Anton. I called it a fat dip because I ain't skinny. It's got to be a fat dip, okay? Ain't shit skinny on Shannon. They would have never called me Skinny Shan in the gang. I possibly could have been Fat Shan, but I really wasn't fat when I was growing up. I was a little chunky and shit. I did some fat shit when I was young, but I wasn't really fat. I didn't get overweight until I was grown and shit. But I did do some fat shit when I was a kid. So is he Jamaican, Shannon? You still there? Is he Jamaican or is he Nigerian? Because I know you know the skinny. I heard he's both, but I just want to find out exactly which one so I can be clear on this. And I'm going to wrap this shit up. Let me know. Let me know what he is. could be both, but he seems Jamaican. I've heard Jamaican in several circles that he is Jamaican. But anyway, I only care what I care about. I only care what I care about. And when somebody whose family is not rooted, whose lineage is not rooted in this country, holds this type of hate for us, American freedmen, I take issue with it. I absolutely take issue with it. And from what I know, Corey Holcomb is an American freedman. Corey Holcomb is FBA. Corey Holcomb is ADOS. I don't know if Corey even identifies in any of this shit. I know he identifies himself as a black man or an African-American man. I don't know exactly which. Anton didn't respect Corey Holcomb just based on that alone because he doesn't respect American freedmen. Not too many Nigerians went Midwest region. Okay. So he could be Jamaican because we got a lot of Jamaicans. We got a lot of Jamaicans out in this way. There's the Detroit, Ann Arbor, Kalamazoo. A lot of the Jamaicans that aren't us, they Jamaican. Absolutely. So, with that being said, I'm going to wrap this shit up. I don't have an issue with Anton as a man. I have an issue with Anton and his outlook on us. And what he did to Corey was just to come up. He's up. He's a bag chaser. He's getting the bag. All that shit that don't mean shit when your ass is stretched out and they measuring your body for a suit, nigga. He got all that shit popping right now. But that's okay. He did it for a reason. He did not say that Corey Holcomb sucked black people's dick for nothing because he had a grudge against Corey. He did it for one reason. And we're going to go back to that reason, and then I'm going to wrap this shit up.
You say it look bad all around. No, it don't. No, it don't. It look bad for niggas. It look great for me. Nigga, listen. There is no way in every shape and form this could not have went better for me. This was my greatest victory to date. In every shape, everything that you can think about. Visibility, pulling up to y'all city, monetization, getting trending on Twitter. And every single metric, I won. I win all across the board. And I know that make niggas upset. Because y'all be waiting on a nigga to say something to me. Oh man, he would never say that to somebody. I said it. And I stood 10 toes down on it.
There it is. I don't hold no grudge against it because it was easy to see for me because I wasn't even really listening to him and Corey. I was watching their body language and shit like that the whole time. Like, this ain't right. Like, Corey done turned to the side. He got his mic going here. Anton's looking forward at the camera, smiling and smirking and shit. I'm like, this is a fucking setup. This is a setup. He's setting Corey up. And he did what he did. But to say in the midst of that conversation that he's from the hood, but didn't know nobody that went to jail, then to say that he was in gangs, this is why you got to listen to motherfuckers, you got to look at motherfuckers, you got to see motherfuckers. Because if you don't listen to motherfuckers, you don't look at motherfuckers, you don't see motherfuckers for who they are, you'll miss shit like this. But I don't miss shit like this. Why? Because I'm Shannon, one man Shan, the villager on deck. Whatever the fuck you want to call me, I'm that. I've always been that. I'm always going to be that. I made a post last night. I've listened to myself talk more in the last 2 weeks than I've listened in years. Maybe all my life. Because I don't listen to my own playbacks. I rarely listen to my own videos. I rarely listen to my own audio. Only time I really listened to my own audio is when I was writing commercials and producing commercials on radio. Then I'd have to go back and listen to myself over. But I don't listen to myself. But I went back and listened to some shit that I did 4, 5, 6 years ago that's relevant today. Because I am that motherfucker. I've always been that motherfucker. And I'm always going to be that motherfucker. Anton is right now. And Anton might be tomorrow. But they're not going to be talking about Anton 20 years from now. Because there's going to be another nigga that comes along and replaces Anton. Antons are replaceable. Antons are replaceable. Because they don't want to be rooted in nothing. Yeah, he said he was a Christian. Christian first. I'm a Christian first. No, you're not, nigga. You're not a Christian first. You black. When they pull you over, they're going to be like, get out the car, nigga. They're not going to say, get out the car, Christian. You stupid motherfucker. That's the fat dip on Corey and Anton. I'm ending this shit because I got to go do some shit. It's breakfast rap day. Let me get my hands right. I got to do about 35 raps. So let's wrap it up.
I king you that I come to you with the truth. I mean, streets took 6 more lives overnight. All the result of gang bang stupidity. By the way, you gangsters should know, one of your victims was a 3-year-old girl. Local gang members, you still don't get it, do you?
No shots fired. Because I ain't no thug. I ain't no gangster. Like Anton was. One love.